from sunny and beautiful Ultrace, where we have unveiled, presented Anton's BMW M4 that you have already followed over the year that we have been building. And the prime for us is, first of all, having a stand at Ultrace, because after visiting here last year and showing the completely destroyed car, I fell in love with the event so much. And here we are. So today we are unveiling our front splitter with canards for the G82, and also a big wing on the back. But since we haven't shown you the front splitter and canards before, I think it's a good occasion to quickly jump back into our workshop and have a closer look to show you the canards up close, also the force distribution cables of the front splitter. I think the most exciting part, aside from these interesting contraptions, what do they do?
So end plates.
End plates.
They create vortices and they keep some load, some high pressure on the top edge of the splitter.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's have a look underneath on the actual, yeah. Cool. Yeah. Look at this. What is that? Those are actually titanium skid plates. So if you go too fast through the compression or proper speed or through the carousel, you might end up causing some sparks. I mean, with
one more light?
Yeah, with all the fancy lamps that we have. Yeah, titanium skid plates, 4 in total. So we have on the sides 1, then 2 in the middle, 2, 3, and then again over here. Sparks, one day we will be able to show it to you. Actually, I think one of the splitters is going to Australia. What I'm getting at is in Australia, they quite often drive at night at Sydney Motorsport Park. So probably there you will see some sparks. That would be nice. Another question quite often we get, especially also from the G87 front splitter, what about the oil cooler? Well, the outlet is here, so it's not being restricted.
Yep.
So just like the factory oil pan protection plate, you have the outlet, so the cooler works as it should.
Actually, it should be even more efficient because this step will draw even more air from the cooler, so it's going to help it extract more flow.
And then, of course, we have the airfoil shape over here. Well, not airfoil, but like diffuser tunnels. Yeah. As much as we could, because here we already have the chassis mounting or the.
It's with everything you need to compromise a little bit. So of course we could have gone way more aggressive, but then you need to relocate the coolers, relocate some mounting points, and this basically it's almost plug and play. You need to trim a little bit the mud guard, but that's basically it, because then it's only it reuses the original mounting locations for the original bodywork. But in the front we use some already drilled in the cross member. Basically the front crash bar, there's some M6 holes, and then the cables take the load and distribute the force throughout the chassis without having to, because sometimes you have hard mounted splitters, which if you take an abrupt hit or like a really high curb, they might bend your chassis or distort. No, maybe it's a couple of millimeters or not. This instead can take a load up, but it won't push the force through the chassis. It will actually deform a little bit, but then with the important part where is the, let's say, downforce load, let's call it, the cables will tighten up and give the load.
Nice.
Where it is, yeah.
Having said that, the most important question that everyone's going to ask, how many downforces does it make?
Specifically on the G82,
according to the CFD.
It depends on the wing.
It depends on the rake.
On the rake, on the side, if you, for example, you add side skirts. But the whole setup, I can tell you about the whole setup what we have here in the car. We're looking at around 650 to 700, depending on the angle of attack of the wing, of the, let's say, if you put dive planes, those help also the rear wing. So you're looking at 650, 700, depending on top speed, let's say air density.
Yeah, so around 250 kilometers per hour,
yes,
that's what we usually.
Yeah.
what we usually measure. That's also the GT3 race car top speed. Anyway, if you want to know more about the splitter, you can ask us in the comments below. Maybe we'll probably end up making another video because we want to show you more about Ultrace itself actually now. But yeah, you can also head over to our website. Oh, look at that. You can do pull-ups. Do it. Come on. Huh?
I pull up.
Yeah. Come on. It's strong. Yes. Now I want to do it. I haven't been to the gym for the last like 4 months. Hey. That's cool. So that's what splitters are for, because on the wings you can also maybe do pull-ups. Anyway, if you want to know more about the splitter, send us an email. And yeah, because we haven't put them in production yet, but you can get on the early members list. While we're here, titanium exhaust of Krapovich, big shout out. And the big wing is actually the very extreme wing, but this car is actually gonna they'll see it on Ultrace.
Oh yeah, true.
So yeah, but we have here already a ready DRS, like plug and play, I would say, wing straight up bolt on onto the factory G80 trunk or
well,
G82.
This is meant then to, of course, has the bespoke G82 mounting bracket, but then because it's two-piece, we can adapt it to F series G87. So we're gonna come out. You can order for G82, but we are already working to have it on F series G87s and all that other stuff.
And final thing that we want to mention, actually, skid plates. You can go not only titanium, you can go wood, and we have also extra mounting points if you want to have a bigger surface area skid plate. Getting too excited, carried away about the front splitter. Now let's go back to Ultrace from Fancy Cars. Look at that, working DRS. Quick disclaimer, it's a bit slow, the system as of now, because it has longer lines to accommodate the activation here and the wing there. Usually it's twice as fast. And I think also the battery is now a bit empty because we're already on the second day of the event. But regardless, big wing, big DRS, big aero. The rest of the car you already have seen. Massive shout out also to our partners, Geon and Novus Sim, that came by here to support us, because Geon not only take care of our cars, we also were using their products at the Nürburgring together with Crispy Clean for the detailing. We have also Novus Sim, of course, with Motion Sim. But should we have a look around? What else do we have here? Because it's actually quite a sick event. And also, massive thank you to everyone who came by here to take pictures and actually bought merch that we have here. We almost sold out. So let's have a look. Thank you very much for stopping by.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
And it's more relaxed when we're not about to get on the track.
Yes.
Let's be honest. It's nice to mope around, take some photos, have an ice cream and a coffee, and check out what you're doing.
Yeah.
So this is all new news to me. I didn't know you were quietly developing. You had a skunk works in the making.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So next month you're coming back to the ring.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to do some more laps. You're bringing some other car this time, I heard.
I have a BMW this time.
Yes.
It's a little bit tuned. It's got a bit more of everything, and it's rear-wheel drive.
Nice.
It might be a little premature for this to take the next stage, but I've done some sim. I feel a little bit more confident, but some of the track is still a little bit grey, so I'm going to be practicing a lot before I come out.
All right, 500 pictures later, let's go find some car to show you guys. So here we have Group B S1 Quattro. I was fortunate enough to drive a car once, and for me it was the worst understeering car in history I've ever driven. I also have worked with Audi, or for Audi, for 3 years, doing like lots of their socials, and we filmed actually an episode inside of their museum. And I remember we asked like, why was this such a popular car? And even Audi said, well, it was not even like successful car, but it's known for having such a wide and crazy presence. So people associate Group B with this monster of a car. But in terms of successes, it was not that really successful. Regardless, here we have another very special car close to my heart, the Maserati MC12. Insane piece of kit, and I've been also fortunate enough to be a passenger in one in 2017. Before I was doing like Nürburgring onboards, or before I was big in terms of content creation. And we went out with Ido from Ido Competition in the Street Legal MC12, because this is actually a competition, it's a race car, but he made the Street Legal one. And I think we got black flagged for being too loud at 4,000 RPM. So 8, 9, 10,000, still yet to experience it on the Nürburgring, if that day ever comes, or even anywhere. Regardless, this car is here at the Tutu Bene stand, and we are working hard to have a car there this year. The selection process is very tough, but we are working on building something cool enough to be presented, to participate there, and hopefully put on a cool show. Let's see if we make it happen. Also Ultrace regulars, Jägermeister race cars. We have here 935, we have an Opel Astra, we have Alpha, of course, as well. Super cool, super classic, super awesome. And what I really love about Ultrace is that there's like no rope around it. You can just like, you could touch the car, but no one is doing that because everyone is so respectful. Here we do have a rope, a fence, because here we have a collection of priceless, extremely valuable, private collection hypercars that have to be fenced off because of the insurance related to their cars. We have Bugatti Divo, we have Bugatti EB110, we have a Jaguar XJ220, we have a Bugatti Veyron, we have a Gambella Mirage GT, basically based on a Carrera GT with a very fancy flakes, and then probably my favorite of the whole show in terms of exclusivity, wilderness, Koenig Special Testarossa with the appearance of a F40. Knowing Koenig Specials, it had probably twin turbo, claimed probably to have 1200 horsepower for half a second until engine blew up, because that's how you did in the 80s. Even nowadays, lots of tuners claim to have 2,500 horsepower. Who's gonna check? Not the owners, and especially not their friends at the club. Some stage action happening, but of course a quick mention of a R34 GTR in Bayside Blue, right? I think Bayside Blue. In 10 years, maybe Lapos 190 will look something like this, a proper finished 190. Who knows? Stay tuned. But here we have also something very, very cool. We have the TWR Supercat, the XP1, so the experimental prototype #1, you can see it over there, so it's the very first car. I believe I get to drive it soon-ish, because the car is still now currently on a world tour along all the big press events. So later in the year, maybe, we'll get to do a little send around the Nürburgring. Who knows? Let's see. Here we have a 348, yeah, GTS Ferrari. Very cool, very classic. I always confuse whether 348 or 328 was the Magnum PI, or 324. Now the comment's gonna go out. Good for YouTube's. Love the stance, because of course there's always goes lots of effort into creating such cars, but what I do not really understand, the cage. I probably found the most heartbreaking and offensive car of the show. Who in the right mind stances out the 992 GT3 RS? Like, while you're at it, why don't you like take off the wing? A functional race car, and still covered in bugs and pickup from last weekend's race. Last moment entry or invitee at our friends Blackfish, who made the design and livery for the Bilstein and Black Falcon car, also last year's and the year before that. Hopefully also next year. We still don't know what we're going to do next year, but hopefully something faster. Maybe still the same, maybe different. Anyway, that's a different kind of video. But yeah, our car is here and it's shining, and lots of protein on the front. I cannot believe that this is just like kind of hidden away. The legendary E36 of Gert Plaza. Judd engine, so it's basically like full Formula 1 spec. If you know, you know. If you do not, pause this video, stop watching this video, go look up this car. Legend. Gio, inspiration. In 3 years.
3 year vlog.
And it's also George, pretty much. Plaza Basdos, kind of also blue. You gotta start somewhere. Here we have another race car, actually like a really historical race car. We have a BMW prototype car from '99. It's good seeing BMW nowadays also again being active in LMDH class, so the prototype class. I love the little kidney design detail, that even this still had the iconic kidney. But what's even more iconic than the Le Mans car, not more iconic than Georg Plaza's car, but still, BMW E46 GTR with an amazing V8 that had been banned the year after because other manufacturers cried like babies, so regulations were adjusted. But to make this car actually be eligible to run in, I think it was IMSA. Was it IMSA? You know it. To be run in IMSA, they had to make a road car. That was, of course, the main car of my all-time favorite Need for Speed Most Wanted from 2005. Epic. It's just missing the Most Wanted livery, but even without, wow. So what's the engine code? P60. Yes. Sick. Oh, look how the RPM gauge is going like to 9,000 RPM. So it looks a bit different than the other one, but my God. Dude, look, the cage goes to the front towers. It's insane. The shocks. And the trumpets are starting from here. Man, all the little electronic details that you see for the data logging. So big thank you, first of all, to lovely gentlemen from BMW stand for allowing us to touch the cars, open the cars, look what's underneath. I feel very privileged. And to continue BMW craziness, M635i. Oh, Gio, do you remember this name? He was racing us in Mille Miglia. Yeah, maybe even cooler, the E21. I think it's the E21. Looks like it. Yeah, so the OG 3 Series. Huh. I believe they could run like up to 1200 horsepower on overboost, because why not? Now that's a splitter. That's a front splitter. Oh, nice. Hello, guys.
Yourself, mate.
Yeah, awesome.
Hello.
You all know that I like cars, but I like food more. So big shout out to C-Tech guys for like, oh, rucola. Dude, Ben Collins is missing out. Nice, thank you. How late am I for ice cream?
You're about 4 hours too late. It ran out. It ran out like 3 o'clock.
You
I'm
saw-
sorry. You had some yesterday, right?
I had some yesterday.
Your guys came over. They helped.
Yes.
They had some.
So even Turi CSF and motor and suspension, they had the best stand at the show because they had ice cream.
Yes.
Simple as. They had cool cars and cool products that we also run, but ice cream. So they here is your imaginary award.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
When are you coming to the ring?
September.
See you then.
Yes.
Out of ice cream, out of merch as well at Vulcan Alpha, because we have sold out, which is actually quite amazing. It was for us simply the best event that we have experienced in our relatively short career so far. We exist slightly over a year, but as mentioned last year, this was for us the event to go to after seeing it firsthand. And after having such a great experience actually being here, I know that we will be definitely coming back years to come. We already went to the organizers and said, please book us for next year. So we got our stand for next year already because we want to be back even bigger. We have lots of builds already this year in development, and who knows what's going to happen also by next year. So having said that, thank you everyone who came by, said hello, took a picture, bought a t-shirt, checked out our car, and just simply gave us words of encouragement, because this means a lot to us. Thank you for the world's best automotive crowd here at Ultrace, and we're extremely excited now to be back with some more cool cars. See you next year.